Have you ever stared at your phone, wondering why she suddenly went cold? Even though you said everything right, you texted back fast, you gave attention, you tried to be interesting, and somehow another guy walked in and captured her attention without even trying. That feeling stays with you quietly, like you're missing a rule everyone else understands. And the worst part, you start thinking maybe it's you, maybe you're not attractive enough, not confident enough, not exciting enough. But listen carefully, this was never your fault. Nobody taught you this. I'm here with Sil Love Coded, where we uncover the real psychology that creates desire. And today, you're going to understand something most men never realize. Attraction is rarely built from perfect words. It's built from emotional timing, from tension, from how a woman feels in your presence. And there are two simple words that can groat why most men fail with women, instantly shift how she sees you when they're used correctly. Not manipulation, not pickup lines, real psychology. Because the female brain is constantly scanning for emotional signals beneath your words, confidence, scarcity, presence, emotional control, safety mixed with challenge. These things trigger attraction faster than appearance ever will. And I'll warn you now, the final trigger we covered today is incredibly powerful. It can change everything fast, and almost no one uses it correctly, so pay attention. The two words come here. That's it, simple. But when spoken with grounded energy, calm eye contact, and emotional certainty, those two words create polarity instantly. Why? Because most men ask for attention. Very few assume connection. There's a massive psychological difference. A needy man says, "Can I talk to you?" A grounded man says, "Come here." One seeks approval, the other creates direction, and women feel that difference immediately. Now, before your brain turns this into some fake alpha performance, understand this clearly. The words themselves are not magic. The emotional frame behind them is. If you say them nervously trying to impress her, they fail. If you say them with relaxed certainty, playful warmth, and grounded masculine energy, they hit. The psychology of emotional attraction differently, because attraction is emotional before it's logical. Always. A woman can forget your exact words. She never forgets how you made her feel. That's where most men lose. They overload women with logic, explaining themselves, trying too hard, seeking reassurance. But female attraction evolved differently. Evolutionary psychology shows women subconsciously scan for emotional stability, social confidence, emotional intelligence, and behavioral consistency. Her brain is reading patterns constantly, tiny signals, mental shortcuts, deep emotional cues, not just sentences. That means the man who controls the emotional experience usually controls the attraction. And once you understand this, you stop chasing, you become the man women naturally lean toward. Now let's go deeper. The first trigger is masculine presence, not muscles, not money. Presence, grounded energy. This is the ability to remain calm, centered, and emotionally steady around her without trying to force an outcome. Women crave this because chaos is everywhere now. Attention is cheap. Emotional steadiness is rare. Imagine this. You're sitting with her at dinner. Most guys feel silence instantly because silence makes them nervous. They ramble. How women test your confidence, over-explain, joke constantly. They leak anxiety. But you slow down. You hold eye contact for 1 second longer. You smile slightly. You say, "Come here," softly while showing her something on your phone. No tension in your body, no neediness, no rush. Her nervous system notices immediately because grounded men feel safe and dangerous at the same time. That combination is magnetic. Calm is power. The second trigger is emotional challenge. Women don't just want comfort. They want emotional movement, polarity, playfulness. A man who lightly challenges her creates emotional stimulation. Dopamine spikes when interaction becomes emotionally unpredictable in a playful way. That's why teasing works when it's warm and intentional, not cruel, not performative. For example, she says she's always late. Instead of saying that's okay, you smirk slightly and say, "Yeah, I figured you'd be trouble." Then you lean back relaxed. Now there's tension. chemistry, she feels something. Most men become emotionally flat because they fear losing approval. But attraction dies in predictability. You need warmth mixed with challenge, soft eyes, sharp frame. That's polarity. Make her feel something. The third trigger is selective attention. The biggest mistake men make. This one changes everything. Women deeply notice where a man places his attention because attention reflects value. If you give unlimited access instantly, your attention feels cheap, not because you're bad, because human psychology values scarcity. Read that again. Scarcity creates emotional weight. This doesn't mean ignoring her for games. It means building a full life that naturally limits your availability, purpose, friends, training, ambition, peace. A man with options behaves differently without trying. For example, she texts you late at night. Instead of responding instantly every single time, sometimes you reply the next morning because you were genuinely busy living your life. Then, when you do respond, you're fully present, intentional, focused. That contrast creates emotional tension. She starts wondering about you, thinking about you, missing you slightly. That's powerful because craving grows in space. And if this is making sense so far, hit subscribe and join SEO Coded community. It helps more men learn what they were never taught. Now, here's where things become deeper, because attraction is not just excitement, it's emotional recognition. That leads us to the fourth trigger, intentional listening. Most men hear women, very few actually see them. Huge difference. A woman can instantly feel whether you're listening just to respond or listening to the secret to becoming unforgettable, understand her emotional world. And when a woman feels emotionally seen, attraction intensifies fast. Why? Because modern attention is fragmented. Everyone talks, few observe. Intentional listening activates emotional safety and significance inside her mind. Her brain associates you with emotional validation without you becoming weak or submissive. Here's an example. She casually mentions she loves a specific childhood snack. 2 weeks later, you walk past the store, see it, and say, "This reminded me of you." Simple, tiny detail, massive emotional effect. Because now she feels remembered, emotionally registered, that creates attachment. A woman will forget flashy lines. She remembers emotional accuracy. See her deeply. The fifth trigger is calibrated vulnerability. This one separates boys from men. A lot of men think attraction means acting emotionally invincible. Wrong. Women don't trust perfection. They trust authenticity paired with strength. The key word is calibrated. You share real things without collapsing emotionally, without seeking rescue, without playing victim. That balance creates emotional intimacy. For example, maybe you tell her, "There was a period where I doubted myself a lot, had to rebuild mentally." Then stop. No dramatic speech, no female psychology explained emotional dumping. You own it calmly. That signals emotional maturity because strength isn't pretending you never struggle. Strength is carrying struggle with composure. Women feel safe around emotionally honest men who remain grounded under pressure. That's rare now, very rare. And here's the hidden truth most men never hear. Women are not attracted to perfection, they're attracted to congruence. Your words, your energy, your behavior, all aligned. That alignment creates trust, and trust amplifies attraction. Now, let's return to those two words again. Come here. Notice how differently they land after everything we discussed. It's not command, it's emotional certainty. It says, "I'm comfortable leading this moment." Women crave emotional leadership far more than men realize. Not domination, not control, direction, presence, confidence without force. That's why a man who simply guides her through a crowd with a light touch on her back often creates more attraction than the man bragging loudly for attention. Subtle power always wins. Now we move into one of the strongest triggers of why mystery creates desire all, gradual physical touch. This is where chemistry becomes real. But listen carefully. This only works when emotional comfort already exists. Touch without emotional calibration feels invasive. Touch with trust feels electric. Why? Oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Light, respectful touch can dramatically increase emotional closeness when tension and comfort already exist together. That's why the smallest touches often feel strongest. A brief touch on her hand while laughing, guiding her gently closer and saying, "Come here." Your hand lightly on her back while walking through a doorway, small, intentional, relaxed. The problem is, most men either avoid touch completely or rush it desperately. Both destroy polarity. Gradual escalation matters. You let the tension breathe. You allow anticipation, because attraction grows best slowly like fire, not explosion. Women want to feel chosen, not hunted, remember that. And now we reach the final trigger: controlled unpredictability. This one is dangerous when misunderstood, because most men hear unpredictable and become inconsistent, emotionally unavailable, or manipulative. That's not what this means. Controlled unpredictability means you remain emotionally grounded while introducing novelty, surprise, and emotional contrast. Human brains are dopamine machines. How to make her think about you. Predictable reward patterns create less excitement over time, but intermittent emotional rewards create anticipation. That's neuroscience. For example, instead of always doing the expected thing, sometimes you shift the emotional rhythm. You randomly send, "Get ready Friday, I'm stealing you for an hour." Short, confident, mysterious. Or during a conversation, instead of reacting predictably, you pause, smile, and change the energy completely. She can't fully predict you, but she still feels emotionally safe with you. That combination is addictive. Mystery plus stability. And this is where those two words become incredibly powerful again. Come here. Not repeated constantly, not forced, used sparingly at the right emotional moment with calm energy. Maybe she's laughing across the room with friends. You catch eye contact, slight smile. Come here. Now she feels chosen, pulled into your frame emotionally. That moment sticks in her mind because attraction often lives in emotional snapshots, tiny moments, tiny shifts, tiny tensions, not giant speeches. And understand something important. None of this is about pretending to be the attention trigger most men ignore, someone else. That's exhausting. Women eventually sense fake energy anyway. This is about removing behaviors that weaken attraction naturally. Neediness, over-validation, approval-seeking, emotional chaos, and replacing them with grounded masculine habits, presence, purpose, polarity, emotional leadership. That's why some men become more attractive without changing their looks at all. Their energy changes first, their posture changes, their pacing changes, their attention changes, and women respond differently because women respond emotionally before logically. Now, maybe part of you is thinking, okay, but what if I've already messed things up? Good, because this matters. Most attraction mistakes are reversible when the emotional dynamic changes. A woman loses attraction when interaction becomes emotionally predictable, overly available, or approval-seeking. But when your energy shifts, the emotional experience shifts too. That means you don't need magic lines, you need emotional recalibration. You stop over-exting, you stop performing, you stop trying to convince women to like you. Instead, you become emotionally centered, and suddenly women start leaning toward you again. You notice longer eye contact, more playful touching, faster replies, more final attraction lesson curiosity. Why? Because attraction grows where emotional tension exists, not pressure, tension. That subtle difference changes everything. And here's another truth nobody says out loud. Women often test emotional strength unconsciously, not to hurt you, to feel your emotional stability. If tiny things shake you emotionally, attraction weakens. But if you remain calm, playful, grounded under pressure, her subconscious reads that as strength. For example, she cancels a date last minute. Weak energy says, "Wow, okay, never mind then." Or worse, multiple angry paragraphs. Grounded energy says, "All good, we'll figure it out another time." Then you continue living your life. No emotional collapse, no performance. That emotional steadiness is rare now. and rare things become valuable. Remember this always. Attraction is not built by convincing her, it's built by embodying emotional qualities. She naturally responds to confidence, calmness, purpose, challenge, warmth, direction. These things communicate value deeper than words, and ironically, the less desperately you seek validation, the more attractive you become. Because desperation signals emotional dependency, groundedness signals choice. Now, let's make this practical. The next time you're with a woman you like, stop trying to impress her every second. Slow down, breathe, notice her energy, listen intentionally, hold eye contact slightly longer, tease lightly, touch gradually, and when the moment feels natural, say those two words softly, "Come here." No performance, no acting, just grounded certainty. You'll feel the difference immediately, because women don't respond most strongly to loud dominance. They respond to emotional congruence, a man comfortable with himself, a man emotionally present, a man who isn't begging for attention because his life already has meaning beyond women. That's the deeper secret. Women crave men who already feel whole, not perfect, whole. And maybe nobody ever told you this before, but attraction is a skill, not luck, not genetics alone. A skill that should free you because skills can be learned, refined, practiced. You were never broken, untaught. There's a difference. The modern world trained men to suppress masculine polarity while simultaneously expecting attraction to magically happen anyway. Then men blame themselves when women lose interest. But now you understand the real game. Emotion, energy, timing, presence, psychology. These are the hidden levers, not cheesy pickup lines, not fake alpha nonsense. Real emotional intelligence mixed with masculine direction. Use these tools with respect, with intention, never manipulation. Because the goal is not controlling women. The goal is becoming the kind of man women naturally feel drawn toward. That's real power. Quiet power. And the beautiful part, once you internalize this, your entire dating life changes without forcing it. You walk differently, text differently, speak differently. Women feel the shift before they can explain it logically because attraction operates beneath conscious awareness, most of the time. That's why tiny emotional cues matter so much. And once you understand them, you stop fearing rejection as much too, because you realize attraction is not about pleasing everyone. It's about creating emotional resonance with the right person. That changes your energy completely. You stop chasing validation. You start choosing connection. That's a higher level mindset. So remember this, the two words are not the magic. You are your presence, your grounded energy, your emotional control, your ability to lead moments calmly instead of begging for attention. That's what creates desire. And when a woman feels that from you consistently, she starts craving your attention naturally. Not because you manipulated her, because your energy finally communicates masculine certainty in a world full of emotional noise. That's the shift. That's the level up. Real tools, not tricks. Use them with respect and intention. And remember, you do not need perfection. You need strategy. If you're ready to stop chasing and start becoming the man women genuinely desire, subscribe to S Love Coded now. Turn on notifications because the next one will shift your reality.